Hey look, it's that little 5-minute section before the start of the stream where everything is awkward because I haven't verified that things are working. It seems like things are working because I just saw the view count shoot up like a lot. Oh, we're already beating the previous stream's view count. Oh my god. That is freaking cool, and the event hasn't even started yet. Not even sure how that happens. Oh, shit. Come on, LittleBigPlanet, come back. Alright. Wait, what? Okay. I'm not entirely sure why YouTube thinks that the video is an hour and 15 minutes long. I'm just gonna hope like crap you guys can hear me. I'm gonna close out of live dashboard, close out of Twitter because we don't need Twitter running. There's chat, I'm gonna zoom that in. Alright, and I'm gonna do my usual text-to-speech thingy to catch myself up. Tobias says we can't hear you. We can't hear you, but you would need to hear me to know that I was questioning whether you could hear me. Please tell me it didn't go quiet. Oh, ha! Ha! Y'all are a bunch of trolls in the chat. Oh my god. Now I need to go back into the live dashboard just to check to make sure that the stream is still going, because now I'm concerned. I know that it is, but I just want to check. LittleBigPlanet, the Pinball Wizard. I just heard what I said through the stream, so I know it's working. Anyway. I need a drink. No, it's not going. It's not going anymore. Yes, it is, Tobias. I know it is, because I can whisper something into the microphone, and then the moment I click on the video, I'm gonna hear what I said. Alright, well, I guess I'm ignoring chat this stream, because y'all are a bunch of trolls. That's not what I wanted to do, so... I'll have to warn you guys about this stream, it's a little bit experimental, because... I had to completely redo... Okay, I didn't have to, but I did completely redo my computer and the way it's set up. Before I ran Windows in the previous stream, now I'm running Linux, but I'm also running Windows at the same time, so I'm streaming from Windows through Linux, and it's complicated and weird, and I might do a tutorial video on it someday. But I'm very baffled as to the fact that this is working right now, because what I am effectively doing is I'm streaming LittleBigPlanet. Great timing. Great timing! My freaking soda made me burp. I'm streaming LittleBigPlanet from my PS3, using Windows, running in a virtual machine on top of Linux. And it's weird, it's strange, it's a little panicky to set up, but I got it working, and it's awesome. But the important part is that we're streaming LittleBigPlanet today. On an actual Saturday for once. It's not a Saturday at 1 PM, but it's a Saturday for once. I actually made things work on time, which is great. So we're gonna be continuing on the... I'm reading chat. Microsoft Windows, that's what I'm running right now. And I see a chat that has been removed for saying the F word by Automan. I'm gonna have to go ahead and leave that message retracted, but I did read it. Anyway, we're gonna be playing LittleBigPlanet this weekend, again, because that's my thing. We're gonna be going back to that pinball level if I can find it on my moon. I have no idea where I put it. I probably should have thought about that before the stream. I want to say this unnamed level is it, but I don't know. But we're gonna be continuing on with the pinball game that we were starting to work on last week, and this is not it. This is the level from that tutorial video on tag sensors and remote tag sensors and stuff. I do believe I'm looking for this one. I could be wrong. This looks a lot like the pinball level. Alright, we made it back. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn up my volume here. That was a very interesting pinball game. Tobias, it wasn't the pinball game that I loaded in. This is the pinball game, and I can tell because there's this derpy thing here. Not really sure why this derped out, but I'm gonna fix it real quick because it's driving me nuts. Where do I go to fix this? We go in here, and then we make sure... What the hell happened? So anybody who plays LittleBigPlanet regularly with the logic system would know... This is not how it's supposed to work. This is supposed to be pointing up. And it's not. So something happened there. I think it just doesn't have space to move. Yep, that was what it was. Okay. So that was strange. That's gonna happen sometimes with the grid system and LittleBigPlanet being dumb, but it's okay. It's okay. We move on. So, as a recap of the last time, what we've done is... gotten me damn near copyright strike. Give me a second. Oh, come on, LittleBigPlanet! I can't play that song on YouTube because it gets me copyright claimed, and I don't monetize my videos, but I also would like to eventually monetize my videos. So, unfortunately, I'm not sure how to get around with that without deleting the sound effect. And now I have a problem to where I can't get it to stop playing the sound effect. Or the song, as it were. So this is a problem, but... You know what? Screw it! Screw the system, it's Little Big Planet, I don't care that this is a licensed track. I'm playing Little Big Planet, this is the Little Big Planet song. I'm not gonna be stopped from playing it. So this is a recap. We've made the plunger work. And we've made death work, and now I need to reset that because... reasons. Little Big Planet 3 bugs, I see. So we've made it work, but it's not exactly fun, because, you know, we get launched out here, and we go straight into death, and we don't want to die in Pinball. So, we're gonna try to make things work a little bit better in this, make the entire map a little more stylish, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and gray box myself some walls so that we don't, what's the word? Completely fly over the top of the board and then end up on the floor of the level. We don't want that. So I'm gonna grab my usual white plastic, no bevel. I'm gonna go for a square. I'm gonna go for 1 layer thick, and we're gonna grid ourselves up here. Alright, I am gridded. That is good. I like it when I'm gridded, and I see a fatal problem. Yeah, I may be gridded right now, but the object I'm about to edit isn't exactly gridded right now. So, screw it. We're gonna just, you know, cut it up a little bit, because I can do that. And I'll come back to that corner and make it a little less weird soon, don't worry. But I'm gonna go ahead and kinda sorta gray box the edge of this thingy. And then I'd like to go... I might actually open up a reference of another pinball machine on the other monitor here, just so I can see what I'm doing, or so I can get an idea of what I want to do. But I'm thinking there's gonna be a section up here with, like, some bonus content, maybe. If you can get the ball up there, you get some extra points. For some reason, I don't know. I didn't say I was good at designing a pinball map, or a pinball machine. I am good at gameplay, though. So I'm gonna go over here, and... I will come back to this and make it look a little less crappy. So I'm gonna have a section up here that's like, sort of like the main section, I guess. And from here I need to be careful because I've got a limited amount of space. I've got basically until here to get this wall set up here. And again, I will come back to that corner to make it a little more pretty. And this is gonna prevent me from being able to go through the piping, but that's okay. Gonna have a little section over here, maybe. Okay, and then there is that little ending area that we had earlier. Alright. It's a little hard for me to line things up right now. I'm actually playing this on my other monitor right now, and the coloring... Because I'm in a VM, I haven't had a chance to set up all the color profiles and stuff like that, so it's a little... it's a little desaturated for my liking. But that's okay, it'll work for now. It'll get us through the live stream. And later on, I can make changes. So, I'm gonna make this line up a little better with the edge here. I'm gonna go down here. Oh, okay, it lines up pretty much perfectly. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that this entire piping area is filled in, because it looks aesthetically better to me that way. But we do have a problem. Our problem right now is the ball is gonna get stuck. It's not gonna be able to fly through this, so we need to make a little bit of a cutout. But luckily we have a tool that's gonna make that a little bit easy. We have the slice tool. I would use the material tool, but that's a little weird for me right now. So we're gonna make a slice there, or not. Come on, LittleBigPlanet, you can do it. Come on. Come on, buddy. Make the slice. Sometimes LittleBigPlanet is a little bit weird like this, and I don't know why. It thinks... I feel like it thinks that this entire area over here is part of the geometry, when in reality... Okay, it is, but... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on in there. There might be a better way to do this as well. Let me try to do a little bit of a weird thingy with the corner editor, maybe. Yep, that's gonna work. Alright, so I've split the material up using a very weird corner editor quirk. And that is, if you try to corner edit something, and then you kinda like move the corner to outside the geometry in a weird way like I just did, it breaks the material into multiple pieces, and it's kinda handy for situations like this. What I don't like, though, is the fact that this area here is a little tiny. Now, this is gonna be very square for now. And that's what I don't like about it, the fact that it's kinda square, but that's gonna be fine. It's gonna work. It's gonna get us through to adding some of the gameplay elements, and then later on we can go in and make it look a little more pretty. So let's test this whole thing out. Okay, so it did work. We ended up hitting this... Oh god, no. Stop! Stop the music. We ended up hitting the side of the level, we bounced off, we went down onto the actual area here and managed to, you know, not die. But for some reason we weren't able to trigger the flippers, so I'm a little concerned. That's a bug, and that's gonna take priority over everything right now. And of course, I now have a problem where I am unable to get into the ball, because I was not in because I was in range of it, and I got out of it, and then there's a weird issue now. I'm not sure how to fix that. There is a problem preventing me from getting into the actual controlinator. There might be a way around that. Kinda sorta reset the controls, or the entrance method, so that the game lets me in properly. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna launch and I'm gonna run it through. And I'm gonna pause when I would like to test something out. So we're on the platform now. So I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as I can. I'm gonna hold down L1, and then I'm gonna play, and then I'm gonna pause. Alright. Now I'm hoping that since we've paused, it should keep that state of the controlinator perfectly, it should keep it the way it was when I exited it. So I should still have L1 pressed down, which I do. And I'd like to find which tag gets me the right flipper. Or the left flipper, sorry. So this tag is active, and that's good. But why isn't the actual flipper flipping up? Oh wait, it is. It's just that we were moving too fast. Okay. Okay. So for some reason, we were moving way too fast for the flipper to actually do anything to us. Alright. At least I was able to see what was going on. So what I effectively did was the LittleBigPlanet equivalent of putting the level through a debugger and stepping through it. And that made things very easy for me to tell what was going on. Now I'm going to read chat, and I'm going to further explain exactly what I meant by that. So, let's have text-to-speech read this out to me. If my VM would let me highlight the text, that would be great. Chrome is being particularly Google Chrome today. Oh god. Oh god. Problem. Oh god. Guys, I have a problem. My TTS is reading the entire catalog from the moment we started the stream. This is gonna take a while. I can't cancel it. Make the text-to-speech stop, please. Come on and stop reading the text-to-speech. It's really, really, really loud and annoying right now. I think it stopped. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Yep, now it's working properly. I don't know what happened there. Alright. So, that was awkward. I completely forgot my train of thought. I know I'm late, but welcome Tim K8 out of the hat. I completely missed you until I was able to actually read it through TTS. Anyway, so what I did before I, ran into text-to-speech hell is I did the LittleBigPlanet equivalent of popping the pinball game into a debugger and stepping through the game to see what it was doing. Because if I go ahead and... Oh god, we got that issue again, don't we? Gonna fly all the way to the top of the level and force it to let me in. So if I just play the game like normal, in create mode, and say I run into an issue, like, maybe that didn't work for a second. Maybe this happened, where I was able to launch myself back into the plunger, and I wanted to figure out, well, is there any logic going on? Okay, this is a bad example, but, okay, maybe there was an issue with the plunger, or the def area, or something, and I wanted to see what was going on in the logic. Well, I can't exactly follow the logic if everything's moving. So, in real-life programming, what I would do is I would set up a breakpoint, which is effectively doing this. It pauses the execution and lets me go in and see what the game is doing in this current point in time. So I can go into my controlinator and stuff and see, okay, I have this button and stuff held down. So that's what I was doing earlier, and it's a very handy thing to be able to do that. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let myself die, and then I'm gonna reset the def counter. Alright. And to reset the def counter, I believe it is the microchip on this side. There's gonna be a counter in here somewhere. Yep, this is the counter. And this lets you determine how many lives you have left, and how many lives you have in total. So that's handy. I'm going to turn my volume up again. Okay, there we go. Camera looking at the ball very close is not such a good idea. I'm starting to agree with you now. So, let's see where that game camera is. I believe it's in the controlinator, but I could be wrong. I don't see a game camera in here. Maybe it's in this microchip? Nope. Alright, where did I put the game camera? Where did I put it? Maybe it's in the microchip that's sitting on the ball. Maybe. Yes, it is. Okay. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna zoom out a little. Something like this. If I zoom out a little, I mean zoom out a lot. But it'll work. And of course, in typical LittleBigPlanet fashion, it is not actually letting me into the controlinator. There we go. So, our big issue right now that I've noticed is we're actually able to get into the plunger if we time it well enough. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of setting up a little piece of the wall here that's fully transparent and has no physics until we've actually passed through it and made it into the level. And that is something I've never done before. So this is going to be a completely new adventure to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of white plastic with no bevel. And I'm gonna make it static physics because it needs to be static physics for this to work properly. I'm gonna place a little 1 layer thick square here, and then I'm gonna corner edit it so that it is basically in line with everything. So this corner is gonna go... I might need to use the small grid for this. Actually, I might even use no grid for this. So that I can get nice and close. Alright, now I'm gonna use the grid so that I can keep things everything lined up. So I'm gonna use the small grid. And then I'm gonna take this top corner and move it up here. I think so, that'll work. Yep, that looks like it'll work. And then I'm gonna take that bottom corner and I'm gonna move it so that it's lined up as well. Okay. Now, this is a problem. Because if I go into it, here, and try to plunge myself out of the plunger, I hit that thing we just made. Which is not good. We need a way to make sure that this is invisible and has no physics, so that the ball can pass through it. Which is fairly simple to do. What we do in this case is we grab a microchip and we put it on the piece of material that we'd like to affect. And we go into full screen pop it because I prefer full screen pop it. And then we go in and we need 2 material tweakers. We need a physics tweaker, which allows us to modify the collision. And collision off. So that's going to allow objects to pass through the material. And then we need an opacity tweaker set to 0% opacity with no fade time. Alright, so effectively it looks like there's nothing there. And indeed, we can now pass through it. Which is good. So now we need to make it so that whenever we do pass through it and we get to the other side, we turn that whole mechanism off until we die. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to do something similar to the death pit, where we have a piece of sticker panel that we pass through. And if we pass through it, we're going to disable this microchip. So, let's set that up. We're going to grab our sticker panel. Static physics, and I'm going to go with a square. Now, I'm going to have this 1 grid piece, or 1 grid unit ahead of the ball, or of the wall, sorry, and I'm going to have it a few grid units above and below where the actual material ends, and that's going to cover cases where the ball either goes a little bit higher than I expect it to, or a little bit lower than I expect it to, and it'll still pass through the material, which is important. So I'm going to set this to transparent, and I'm going to color code it with this color, so blue. And then I'm going to take another microchip and slap it on the sticker panel right there. And then we're going to use an impact sensor. . And just like the death pit, we're going to detect a tag, and we're going to include touching as well. So include touching, detect the tag, and I'm going to go for red. I'm going to detect the pinball. Pinball. So if the pinball touches this material, what should happen? Well, we're gonna put a selector on here. We're gonna put a 2-port selector. Alright, and we're gonna wire that that impact sensor into port 1, or port 2 of the selector. So when the ball passes through this material, the port 2 of the selector gets activated. Now we're gonna take this port 2, and we're gonna commit a mortal sin for a dynamic thermometer level, but in this case I don't care because it's not dynamic thermometer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take port 2, and I'm going to make a rigid connection between that circuit board and this circuit board. And then I'm going to put a NOT gate on here. Now I realize there are better ways of doing this, but this is my way. And I'm going to take this NOT gate, and we're going to wire the output of it into the opacity tweaker and the physics tweaker. So now if we unpause, what's going to happen is the material is hidden. We pass through it, and it should now be unhidden and fully... It should have its physics now. Squished me, it has physics. Alright. So now we need to set it up so that whenever we lose the pinballs, that when we die, we go back to having the material hidden. Because if we die... Well, let's see what happens. Alright, we respawn. And... oh no. We can't get back into the pinball machine. There's the material in the way. So that's the problem. So the way we fix this problem is we go in to our tools bag, and we're gonna grab a remote tag sensor. Alright, we're gonna set it to red and the pinball. Alright, so this is going to stay on when we detect the ball. Now, the problem is, we don't want it to be on when we detect the ball, we want it to be off. So we're gonna invert the output. Which is something I've never tried before, I don't know why, but anyway. So, that tag sensor is gonna turn on when the pinball is not in the level. So ideally, when we die, this tag sensor should turn on and put us back into selector port number 1. Which will disable this NOT gate, preventing the material from being visible. Let's give that a try. As you can see, it works. Alright. So, what do we do now? Well, I noticed that there's an issue here, where the material has also gone a little haywire, and we're gonna fix this real quick. There we go. Make sure that there isn't too much of a gap there. Alright. So that would be that fixed. Then I've noticed there's a problem here, where the ball is... it kind of hits this area here. That's not ideal. So we're gonna take our corner editor and we're gonna modify this whole section, make it a little bit, you know, less intrusive on the player being able to get in the level. As you can see, that is starting to look weird. Alright. So I'm gonna use a small grid for this and kinda, you know, make a little bit of a diagonal curvature to this whole thing. I don't know why I said diagonal curvature, that makes no sense. I'm clearly very tired. I stayed up till 3 AM last night setting up the VM, okay? Alright, so now I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna move it up a lot. Now, I'm gonna do something a little bit weird. And that is, I'm gonna try to make this curved, which is why I said diagonal curvature. I had curves on the mind. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna make a static physics material, and it's gonna be a circle. I don't know if I'm gonna get this centered in properly, but I'm gonna try. Either way. I'm gonna place the circle here, and then I'm gonna attach it up to the material. That looks very, very grief reporty right now. But I'm gonna fix that. So we're gonna take this, and we're gonna delete it. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna delete it. And that should give a nice little circular kind of area here, instead of it being, you know, susceptible to grief reports. And then we can take it and move the entire thing up. Kinda, sorta. What the hell happened there? Alright, I stand corrected. Gonna take that. I don't really know what I'm doing right now with this whole section, but I'm gonna make it look how I want it to in my head, because that's, you know, a really great idea. It's really not a great idea. Anyway, I guess that works. So let's give that a try. Let's see if we can actually not hit that section. So that's a problem. We still kinda sorta go straight toward dying. So I think what we're gonna do there is I'm gonna create a little bit of a lip here, kinda sorta, like we did just then. I'm gonna create a lip, and I'm going to add maybe another... Okay, so this section is kinda... Alright, so maybe this is not gonna be a bonus area. This is gonna be another left flipper. So I'm gonna take my left flipper, and I'm gonna... I'm gonna hide it, and I'm gonna make sure that I click on the sticker panel. And I will read chat after I place this down, don't worry. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna line it up, hopefully, probably. Alright, so there's the flipper placed down. And the cool thing about this is because we designed this in a modular way, that is, we have our whole tag sensor set up, this is automatically gonna work. It's automatically gonna respond to the L1 key. There's no need to wire anything. It's just gonna work. So, I'm going to try to make this a little less gross looking as far as it being very square. Probably not gonna do a good job, but I'm gonna try. And... no, a little bit more. a little bit more. Alright. So, I'm gonna read chat and then we're gonna test this out. Alright. So, it seems like you guys had come up with an idea of making the plunger not accessible, but I was kind of way ahead of you, so I did it already. So that's awesome. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and test this whole thing out and make sure that we can actually hit that flipper. Almost. I do need to be closer zoomed in, though, to see what I'm doing. There isn't a lot of stuff for us to hit, but... Nope, that didn't work. Alright. So... yeah, this is a bug. I think what happened here is there was... okay, I know what happened there. I know exactly what happened there. So what happened there was the game had completely freaked out that it lost some connections that needed to be there. So I need to find that other microchip that tells me how much lives I have left, and we're gonna make sure that it is reset to 0, or to no deaths, so it's already set properly. That's good. Okay, okay. The ball needs to have bounciness. It already does have bounciness, but it's not very... it's very toned down because we ran into an issue where the plunger was hitting it so hard that it would bounce off the ceiling and bounce straight back down, so that was not great. But I might turn up the bounciness. I'm thinking what also we need is we need some sort of thing up here for the ball to hit, and we need more bumpers as well. We need to make sure that we don't just fall straight down when we launch in. We need things for the ball to hit. So I think I'm gonna create a nice spinning bumper type thing. I'm gonna create... I think there's a ball of light that I could use, or that I could make, maybe. I also see this thingy. A torus, which lets me color it, which is interesting. I might be able to use that. I completely didn't even know that LittleBigPlanet 3 implemented basic 3D shape primitives in their goodies bag. That's kinda cool. They also have a sphere, which I could have been using for the ball the whole time, instead of pretending that a golf ball was a pinball. I'd like to find, or make, something with some lights on it, so that it looks cool. Another thing that I would like to do is I'd like to kind of sort of encase this entire section of the level with a background. I'm gonna go for a darker background, and the reason for that is I think it'll contrast well with what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna grab a... I see tools pattern, that's not what I want. I don't know if this material, brown shiny wood, would go with the whole theme that we're going for here, which is, like, futuristic. Denim panels might work. fur. Probably not a good idea. I don't want to make my, pinball machine look like it's got, you know, mold all over it. That wouldn't be great. Scrap metal. You know what? I think that might be creative. So this is gonna be very easy to set up. To give it a background. It's not gonna, you know, blow your mind, but I'm basically just going to do this. This is not my way of doing level design, but it's gonna work. Okay, so now I get to use the corner editor to delete the inner corners of this whole material and make sure that the entire background is scrap metal. Also, one thing that I will point out is the reason that I'm doing this is not only because it's easy, but because there's a weird quirk with the game and how sticker panel works, in that all of the sticker panel materials that I have placed on this same layer won't get overwritten by the scrap metal material. And that's ideal because I'd like them to remain separate from the level geometry. Alright, so just a few more corners to delete here. And now we have a background for our pinball game. It's not a great background, but it's a background. What happened here? What? How? Why? Oh. Oh, that's problematic. Okay. Story of the century. I forgot that I had a microchip here and I completely overwrote this material. Is that microchip still there? The one that respawns everything? I really hope it is. I might have totally screwed up the level. Oh no. Well, thank God LittleBigPlanet has an undo button. This is what happens when I stay up till 3 AM. Alright. Okay, so what happened here is this needs to be moved. It needs to be moved onto here to make it independent of that material. And then what we need to do is we need to make damn sure that we do not ever mess with the 3-layer materials here. And I also need to find the emitter that's responsible for making the material actually show up. Or making the pinball actually show up. That material, or that emitter is right here. I need to make sure, yeah, because right now the way I moved it, it's not actually in the right position, so I'm glad I went in and checked that. Okay, so that was a mistake. what I need to do is I need to take that scrap metal material again, and we need to do the whole thing that we just did all over again, only not touching that section of the level. Alright, I need to make sure that I do not mess with it at all. Riveting live stream right now. I'm like super annoyed that I did that, by the way. Alright, so I've almost gotten this whole thing set up properly. Almost. Gonna be a lot more corners I'm gonna need to delete, though. And let's go ahead and delete those corners now and make sure that the entire level is properly... it has the proper background. So I'm gonna get rid of these, and I'm gonna make sure that I hide this, that entire section of the level, and I'm gonna start chopping away at these corners. This is a lot less interesting than the other stream because all the gameplay is in place where it's placing things down now. This is the type of thing that would be in a time-lapse if I were doing a Little Big Game Dev episode. So, instead of me just being quiet and talking, and talking about literally nothing while I do the most boring thing ever in LittleBigPlanet history, I'm going to share a few announcements with you guys, and try to not actually lose my words. So as I said earlier in the stream, I moved my entire computer over to being a Linux system, and I'm virtualizing Windows underneath it. That actually has... There's a reason behind that. The reason behind that is that, A, I'm going to be making sure that Auto Logic Key is Linux compatible, so that you Linux folk can actually go ahead and use Auto Logic Key. Which means that, yes, it is no longer a toy well, it is still a toy program, but you guys will be able to use it. On most platforms. I don't know about macOS. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Because it does use... Oh god, what's happening here? Why can't I delete that? That is weird. I don't know how macOS is gonna work just yet, because Auto Logic Key needs to be able to hook into native keyboard events and stuff like that on the system. If I weren't careful with my code, auto-launch key would actually get detected as a keylogger because it needs to be able to see what you're typing everywhere in the OS so that it can fire off its macros no matter whether or not the application is the one you're actually actively looking at. So it's a little annoying to get working on multiple platforms. So far I've only tested it on Windows, but I'm gonna work on making it work on Linux because that's a platform I actually know how to develop for. macOS? Maybe not, I don't know. That and I don't want to get in trouble with Apple. Also, I see a chat going off, so I'm gonna read that soon. Another announcement I'm gonna make is that the website is gonna be redesigned. Again. I see Tobias talking, so I'm gonna read what he's saying. Yeah, there is... Yeah, auto-logic key needs to be able to read the keyboard, and it needs to be able to simulate the keyboard. Because the Textinator and the Keyboardinator, those simulate native keyboard events. So they'll work if you fire off a Textinator or a Keyboardinator, no matter what program you're looking at right now, as long as you are in a text box or on something that accepts keyboard input, the Textinator will type out text, and the Keyboardinator will press keys. So that's working. The key press sensor needs to be able to read keyboard input, and I believe that does only work on Windows right now. I think the Textinator and the Keyboardinator, those work on all platforms, as far as I can tell. So it's just the ability to read key presses that I have not tested yet. Sending them is working. Well, it should work. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm about to later on today. Anyway, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this boringness. Anyway, the other announcement I was going to make is that the website is being redesigned again. The reason for that is, some of you guys have informed me that it is not a great experience on mobile, which is understandable. I looked at it through my actual phone, and I spoke cringed. So that's great. I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be completely rewriting the website so that it's both mobile first and faster. Way faster. Because whenever I go to write a blog post or something, it is slow. Like, extremely slow. And, you know, I'm not gonna accept that. I don't like slowness. It's gotta be fast. It's gotta go fast. Pardon the Sonic X pun. So I'm gonna try to look into that, make sure that that's all nice and speedy and working, and also I realized that I messed this whole thing up, so I know what I can do to fix this. So the website is gonna be redesigned. It's gonna take me a long time, because I'm no longer gonna be using WordPress. I'm gonna be writing my own content management system from scratch, which is gonna be difficult. But it's already working, so that's a good start. Anyway, the third announcement that I'm going to make is regarding Red Team and Thundershock. And I can already tell, I can already see it in my head. Tobias is saying, oh god, you're gonna cancel Thundershock Engine. No, I'm not! I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna bring Red Team back. After I've gotten things working with auto-logic key and stuff, I'm going to try to work more on Thundershock Engine and get it to a better state of development, and then I'm gonna bring Red Team back. And that's gonna be part of the new website redesign as well. There's gonna be a new Red Team site. So that's gonna be cool. By the way, if you don't know what Red Team is, That's my hacking game. More info on that later. Yeah, red team, I already did put on the back burner right now. It is on the back burner. I'm not working on it actively right now, but I will be bringing it back. The reason I stopped working on it is because I wanted to focus on this LittleBigPlanet stuff, and I just had no interest in programming whatsoever. I just couldn't do it. But now I'm back to the full swing of things. I want to write code, and I would like to make red team work. So I'm going to try to do that. Now, anyway, we have a background, which is good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to make a bumper type thing that spins, because why not? I would like to have it spin, and I would like to have lights coming off of it. This is going to be very difficult to make. So what I need is I need a circle. I'm going to go with a... You know, it would be kind of cool. Using this animated grid and incorporating it into a design somehow. So I'm going to take this white plastic with bevel, and I'm going to make a big circle. A big circle like this. And this is sort of how I made my Pokeball design a while back for the Pokemon Center. So I'm going to take this big circle and I'm going to make a cutout soon. After I get into the right material, I want it to be the animated grid. Alright, so as you can see, an animated grid is exactly what it sounds like. It's an animated grid. I don't know why I needed to explain what it is. We're gonna make... Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then... That's already starting to hurt my eyes right now, so we're gonna make sure that I get that all sorted out before I develop a migraine from this. Oh my god. Okay, it's very clearly gonna be annoying right now, so... Delete that. Place that. And you get the idea of what I'm going for here. Now I need to advanced glue these materials together so that I can actually... move them around as if they're one. So I'm gonna advanced glue that. Or not. It already sees the material as proper. That's kinda handy. That's a problem. That's not what I wanted to happen at all. So you know what? I'm gonna make this a small material. Now I need... to move this back a lot, because I need to be able to use sticker panel. And this sticker panel needs to be static material. I'm gonna place a circle that's a little bit bigger than the actual thing we're gonna move, and the reason for that, also we need to make sure that it is properly centered. The reason we need this to be a little bit bigger is that I can actually grab onto it later on, without needing to hide the material. So yeah, that's working. So now I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna make it fully transparent, and we're gonna put a motor bolt on this. There are other ways to make it rotate, but I think motor bolts give it a little bit of a charm that I would like to have. And this motor bolt needs to be centered. Wait, I cannot get it centered properly. As you can see, it is kinda centered. And spinning, so now we need to increase the speed. So now we get this interesting kinda effect here. I kinda like it. It's almost moving fast enough to where the grid is stationary. But it's also not stationary. Now, as for the grid itself, we can actually make it copy the player's color. Which, in my case, looks incredibly awful because I'm using the black poppet. But that works. Anyway, what we need to do now is we need to take the bumper hip that we made for these. And we need to make sure that we stick it on the material. However, in this case, we need to stick it on the outside of the material, otherwise the ball won't be able to detect it. So right about there, that should work. So now, we need to take this, and we get to copy it around. And I'm not going to grid this at all. So now we have things for the player to bounce off. Let's move the background back into position. And let's give the level a try. I don't think I can get into the ball. There's a slight problem. Alright, let's get back in. Okay. It's not exactly, you know, bouncy, but it does work. Alright, so, let's make that ball more bouncy, as you guys requested. I'm finally going to listen to that. So to make the ball more bouncy, we basically need to find the ball on the screen, wherever this freaking ball is. It's right here. And it's got a physics, or no, it's got a material tweaker on it, somewhere. Where? I don't know. But it's definitely got one. Where is it? Could it be in this? Nope, that's not where it is. Okay, there's apparently no material tweaker on it whatsoever, okay. I don't know why. I don't know why it's missing a material tweaker, but we're gonna put a material tweaker on it to make the ball bouncy. Alright, so, under the material tweaker, we have a bounciness tweak. I'm gonna go with 50%. Once again, we need to fly all the way up to the top of the level. So it's a little more bouncy, but not perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adjust it so that it is a little more bouncy, because bounciness is cool. I don't know why I'm so tired today, but bounciness is cool. We can all agree on that. Let's go for full bounciness. Oh god. It might be a little too bouncy, don't you think? So 100% is too bouncy, 50% is not enough bouncy. Let's try a healthy middle. 75%. We definitely need a flipper there. But hey! We got the right amount of bouncy. In my opinion, that feels nice. Alright, so... a lot of microchips to get rid of. A lot of things to hide. And a lot of copyright concerns with this music still playing in the background. Alright, so... we need to fix a few things. We need to make sure that Left Bank 2 stops playing, because it's getting a little annoying now. Let's go ahead and go in here, and we're gonna go ahead and update the emitter. Now, we haven't done this yet in this stream because I'm lazy, but now we actually need to because we've adjusted the physics of the ball. And when we die, we would like those physics, or those changes to persist. So, we're gonna make sure that the ball spawns in properly. And that should also fix the camera. So let's go in. Damn it, LittleBigPlanet. We're gonna go in, unpause. And the camera stays put properly. Until this happens. That's not good. We definitely need a flipper there. Alright, so, flippers are easy to add to the level. What we need to do is we need to... hide this material here. And we need to grab onto this sticker panel. And can copy the flipper, and then we need to place it. About where we would like it to be positioned. Well, obviously I don't want a flipper just freaking sitting in the middle of nowhere, so I'm gonna try to position it so that it is about right where I would like it to be. I think that's gonna work. Might be a little too close to the material, though. Also, this is why we need to keep that material hidden. Alright, so that should work, hopefully. We got a pretty good pinball game going here. Now, it's not great, but it does work. You know, I was able to rack up some points. We're able to respawn. That was not a great spawn. You know, it works. Our pinball game works. Now, a lot of this is going to be dependent on the level geometry. For example, these bouncy areas are a little too close to this whole thingy here. There's just not a lot of room going on. So, we might need to move things around later on, but that's okay. We have that flexibility. We can go in here and we can move this, if we really want to. For example, maybe I don't want it right here. Maybe I think it's a little weird to have the flipper, you know... maybe it's a little weird to have it all the way up here, so maybe I want to go ahead and have it over here. I can move it around, and it's just gonna work. Now, it might be a little strange to have a flipper here, because it's a little close to the area where if you fall down, you're dead. But, you know, we can move things around. And make sure that we're out of range of the controlinator when we spawn in. I don't know what happens there. I don't know why that happens, specifically. There might be too much bounciness, I think. Alright, well, okay. So, what can we do now? Well... sound design, maybe. But first, let's take a drink, because I'm very thirsty. Ah. Yeah, yeah, Tobias. I have 2 words. Shut up. Anyway, that aside, let's do some, uh, let's do some audio design. Now, this is where I'm kind of regretting already having placed my, my whatchamacallits here, my flippers, because I'm gonna need to modify them. Um, shuts down instead. Well, that works too. Anyway, I'm going to... I'm gonna need to modify these, because, see, we're going to add a bit of a sound effect for when we detect input. So, for this, the way it's gonna work is we're gonna wire it into the... I keep hearing pops through my microphone, so I'm trying to adjust it as I go here. But, I'm going to detect when we... when we get an L1 or an R1, and I'm gonna play a clicking noise. This is not a great sound. Let's see if there's anything under UI that'll work. I know there's a switch sound effect of some sort, and I'm trying to find it right now, but I'm having a very tough time trying to find it. I'm looking for some sort of, like... I don't even know what it's called. I can't even remember what the sound effect pack is that contains it. Might be under mechanisms. Ooh! Pinball bumper! That's the exact sound I was looking for! Alright, so this sound effect is gonna play when we detect input from the players. So I'm gonna place it on the board right here. I'm gonna wire the tag sensor in. So now it's just a matter of copying this across all of the different flippers. This is where I really regret placing these already, because if I had just waited until after the sound design phase, I wouldn't have to do this. But also, if I had waited until after the sound design phase, I wouldn't know how many flippers I would want in the level, and I wouldn't know if there were any issues with the level. So, there's that. But either way, it's gonna work. We should get a sound effect from the flipper whenever we, hit the button. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna put the sound effect in there as well. My PS3 is starting to yell at me saying, "Hey dude, can you, not have me in an overheating room, please? I really appreciate that." So I might have to obey the PS3's wishes to not be in a dying hot room, but... we're gonna keep going with this. So I'm gonna take this output. This is very strange. I'm very confused as to why the circuit board is like this, but that's the tweak input that I don't want to mess with. This is the on-off out input. There we go. Don't want to copy that yet. I love the irony of the fact that I called this the Pinball Wizard stream. I cannot play pinball to save my life. But hey, our flippers now have sound effects. As you can see, you can probably hear, they are working. What happened there? Why does that keep happening? Why? LittleBigPlanet physics is strange sometimes. Okay. Great. That works. Come on! Ah! Why does it fall through? It's worse than a C++ switch statement. That's a programming joke that you will only get if you are a programmer. Damn it! I suck at pinball. Alright, but hey, what's the next thing that we can use for sound design's sake? Again, I'm really regretting having placed all the objects down already. But what I could do is add a little bit of the old LittleBigPlanet sound effects to the Death Pit. That is, I can go into the UI pack and grab me a little bit of the, not that sound. Not that sound. Not that sound. Not that sound. Or that one. Or that one. But that one. Alright, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna put it on the board, and we're going to have it play a sound every time it stops detecting the pinball. So we do that with our remote tag sensor. We put it on the board, we make it red, and we set it to red. Pinball, and we invert the output. And we put it, and we wire things in. And then that's gonna give us our charming little LittleBigPlanet fail sound. Why didn't it let me into the ball? What? LittleBigPlanet is weird. There we go. So we get a charming little failure sound when we die. As if the bomb going off sound effect isn't bad enough already. We get insult to injury. Ah! This is really hard to control. Now, another thing we could do, actually, is we could have a screaming dude whenever we, you know, die. And that's easy enough to implement. What we need to do is we need to go into the control board for the lives. And when we run out of lives, we're gonna play a man screaming sound effect. And we're gonna do something a little different for that sound effect. So with this sound effect, the way it's gonna work is, first of all, we're gonna select it. That's electricity. Oh. I think I like that one better than the sound I was going for. So we're gonna take this sound effect, and instead of this being positional, I'm gonna have this, play as a non-positional sound, and what that's gonna do is that. It's gonna play the sound effect as in 2D rather than in 3D. So what we do is we put the sound on the board, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna have... I believe this is the AND gate that goes in to destroy the player. I think... What? How is there... What? I didn't wire into the sound effect yet? What? Let's go ahead and test that out. So we get that sound effect. We get a very weird plunger that doesn't want to... Oh god. I'm actually not intending on dying right now. I say that right as I die. Come on! Okay, whatever. Okay, so that plays whenever we... Excuse me, what?! Excuse me, what the frick is happening?! I do believe we are ascending into the depths of hell. Is this what it's like to die? Okay, now I know why the sound effect automatically got wired in. We had a tag where I put it down, so the game replaced the tag input with the sound input. I'm dumb. Okay, so we need to fix that. I think the way we set this up is we, what did we do in the last live stream for the tag here? We had it on that same AND gate. I think we had it as a red event tag. We have bumper, we have game active. Game over, maybe. So instead of us just ascending into the depths of hell, we're going to have an actual game over tag that actually activates when it actually should activate. Tobias, I have 2 words for you. You're right. Oh, come on, LittleBigPlanet! You damn physics engine! You're buggier than Thundershock sometimes. That says a lot, cause I wrote Thundershock. Thundershock doesn't even have a physics engine. And it never will. Hey, it worked! Alright, so we have a game over sound effect, and we have a death sound effect, and we have a bumper sound effect. Let's try to make something else work, I guess. I'm actually running out of ideas. I'm running out of ideas for this. In all honesty, I am so glad that the stream is even working right now. Now, of course, one improvement I could make is I could make this entire thingy here just not be in the way. That's something I could do. But now it looks incredibly weird. But that's okay, now it doesn't. Now it looks a lot less weird. Now another thing we could do is we could go into these bumpers and add a bumper sound. But I'm a little afraid to do that, because it means that I'm gonna have to go through all of them, and it's gonna be annoying. And I can't even tell where the hell I put the microchip. There it is. There's the microchip. Alright, so what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these other ones. Because I only want to edit one. And I want to copy them. So, we're gonna go in here. I don't know why I decided to click that 5 times. It just kinda sorta happened. So we're gonna rotate that, and we're gonna grab a boing type sound effect. Which will be under the mechanisms section, I believe. There we go. Barn. It sounds like farting in a bathtub, and I like it. Why is there a tag there? What? Why is there just a green tag on the board? Oh. That's why. Okay, so here's how we're gonna set this up. We're gonna detect a pinball. So include touching, impact with tag, yes. And we're going to detect the pinball. And when we detect the pinball, we're simply gonna play the sound. And now we get to go on a copy-a-thon. Kind of place these haphazardly. Would like a lot of bumpers for the player to run into, because bumpers mean points. And a big one over here. Why not? That's a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, though, it's working. It is working. Kind of. Until that happens. Damn crowd is mocking me right now. Anyway, now instead of having this big one over here, actually, you know what? I like the big one. The big one can stay. I'm gonna have a few bumpers lining the other side of the level, way at the bottom. Because why not? Bumper lives matter. Alright. I don't know why the bumper didn't detect me. And I don't know why this happens. Okay, this is great. Oh my god. I suck at pinball. Alright, well, I know that it's mostly working. Let's try it in play mode. This time there's no music! Because I have play mode music turned off. Ah! Damn it! I can't get it out of the plunger. Well, that was the worst pinball game ever made. And you know what? I'm fine with it. It's whatever. Now, unfortunately, I will have to cut things off fairly soon because, um, it's getting to be that time of day where it's like really hot in my room, and I would really prefer my PS3 not to die of overheating, and it's also gonna be supper time fairly soon, and I would prefer not to have to live stream that. Um, However, I did enjoy doing this, even though I am in a very, very much state of tired right now. I'm very tired. I did enjoy this live stream. I am happy that this at least somewhat works. Now, there are some bugs I would like to fix in it that I will have to do off camera because it's just... I might throw a controller at a monitor if I try to do that live. But I would like to fix the plunger and the ball falling through it. I don't know why that happens, but I'm gonna try to fix it. I would like to, whoops. I would like to make the actual design of the level a little less crappy, and I might have to employ some help for that, because I am not good with level I'm good with gameplay design, but as far as making something look good, I'm not good. I would like to add a system whereby the ball does not bounce until it has gone beyond this point and has become part of the pinball game. That might help out with the, plunger being annoying. But other than that, this uses every trick I know in the book. As far as gameplay design goes, we have impact sensors, we have remote tag sensors, we have... I don't think we have regular tag sensors. We have sound design, we have admittedly very poorly implemented level design. This should not be a thing. We have modular level design, in that I can move any of these pieces around if I would like to. That's awesome. So, yeah. It doesn't look good. And there are a few bugs with it. But we made a pinball game. Wait. I don't know why pinball is called pinball and bowling isn't called bowling. That's kind of right up there with how they call football in America football, when football in America doesn't involve feet whatsoever, or balls, because it's not shaped like a goddamn ball, it's a weird other shape. It's more of an oval, um, or whatever the hell you would call that. It's not a ball at all. So, I don't understand sports names, and I don't understand anything. I don't understand why people come up with weird names for things. I also don't understand why they call it LittleBigPlanet when the planet is only one size. Is it little or big? We don't know. Okay, well, the vast majority of American football doesn't involve feet, whereas European football is just soccer, and that's the entire thing is feet. So, yeah. Schrodinger's planet. I have no idea what that means. Not European, but anywhere in the US. Well, the British call it football for some reason. And actually, they're correct in calling it football, because it, it involves feet, it involves balls. Football. You use your feet to kick the balls. Alright, anyway, I'm not gonna argue about that on a live stream. That's very weird to argue about on a Little Big Planet stream. So, I'm gonna end things off right about now. I know this was a shorter stream and not as interesting as the other one, but we do have a working pinball game. I'm gonna work on it even more, get it working a little better. Probably going to see if I can find someone in the Little Big Planet community to help design this thing a little better, because right now it looks very gray boxy, and that's okay. It works, but this isn't something I would consider presentable as yet. And even then, I can't present it because the Little Big Planet servers are still down. But I will put this on my moon, or on my Earth, whenever it is finished, and you guys will be able to play it. And it'll probably be even cooler knowing that you watched it get made. Anyway, I'm gonna go and do things that don't involve being on a live stream, and with that said, as always, I've been Michael. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. I hope to see you guys in the next video and in the next live stream. I don't know if I'll be doing a live stream next Saturday because I'm getting my first COVID shot. I don't know how it's going to affect me. I might be out of it for a few days, and I'm not going to push myself. But if I do feel right, I will be live next Saturday. Anyway, that being said, we're going to end this off. If you haven't already, feel free to join the Discord server. There's a link in the description below. If it doesn't take you to a Discord invite, it's going to take you to my website, and there's going to be a big red button on desktop. You go ahead and click that. That'll join the Discord. If you're on mobile, you click the hamburger menu, that's the 3 lines, and then the join the Discord button will be there too. That's something that I have fixed in the website lately. But anyway, I'll see you guys there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.